a little bit into technology. How are libraries across North Carolina utilizing technology to improve accessibility, service delivery, and also to keep costs down? And Ms. Boone, we'll start with you from the statewide, and then we can kind of look at the local level too.
Well, I think one of the most important things that we do with technology internally is that every public library in the state has an automated catalog, an online catalog of their resources. And in most cases, there is a website that you can go to and actually look at the catalog from your desk at work or from your desk at home, so that you can see if the library has what you're looking for, and in many cases you can see if it's checked out or if it's available on the shelf. If it's not available, you can put a hold on it in most cases, so that kind of technology is wonderful for functionality. Another thing, one of the most important things that we find in our public libraries nowadays is the public access computer, so that internet access is made available to people who may not have a computer at home, or may have one computer at home and several people who want to use it. For whatever reason, we find that the public use of computers has grown dramatically. One of the things that we're well aware of is that in this economy, there are a lot of people who have lost jobs and are looking for new jobs. And in many cases, these are people who have worked in a mill or a factory or in an office for a very long time and haven't applied for a job in a while. Nowadays, the vast majority of jobs must be applied for online. So you must have a computer to apply for a job. You need to know how to use it. You need to know how to do that application, and services in training in the use of the computer and assistance in doing job applications or resumes online is available at local public libraries. We're finding a dramatic increase in the use of our public libraries in the last year or so. Public library use has continued to increase through the years, but it's been a real dramatic jump. The American Library Association tells us that there are more public library card holders now in America than at any other time. Something like 70% of adults in America have a library card. That's really quite staggering to think how pervasive that is. There are also other ways that we use technology. We are digitizing historical and important resources. We're doing it ourselves at the State Library. One of the things that we're responsible for is the permanent collection and accessibility of state government publications. Well, nowadays a state government publication is probably something that's on a website. And as a result, we have to capture the website and maintain that permanently. One of my favorite examples, because we have a new governor, our previous governor was in office for 8 years, and suddenly one day last January, 8 years worth of a website disappeared because we had a new governor. Well, it hasn't truly disappeared. We have captured many of those documents in that website that are the history of our state, because otherwise, if it just goes away into cyberspace, we've lost our history. The example I like to use today is December 15th is Bill of Rights Day. And we were talking in the library today, what if the Bill of Rights only existed on an 8-inch floppy disk? It would be unusable. So it's so important that we maintain our history, maintain our publications and documents over the long term. And it's very interesting and complex technology. We get involved in some very complex and cutting edge things. Fortunately, there are a lot of wonderful young librarians out there who've learned how to do this, and I depend heavily upon them for that. But that's just some of the ways in which we in the State Library see technology, but I'm sure that there are other things that are related to NC Live and our local public libraries as well.
Well, and I know with NC Live, many people think of it as technology. NC Live, of course, is not truly technology, except that we use technology to make the materials that people would normally have found on the shelves of their libraries. We take them to their house with just a few clicks of a mouse. And so from that aspect, certainly NC Live is technology based. The other thing that we have been trying to do more and more is to move the user closer to the material so that they don't have to know a lot when they go into the exchange. And we were sort of talking about this a little bit earlier, in that oftentimes in the past, libraries were built for librarians. They were built for people who really enjoyed the concept of searching and finding and researching things. But yes, and organizing information in certain ways. And I think that, you know, Joe Public doesn't have time for that. He, as Mary said, he wants to find out how to get a job. How do I apply for this job because I've just lost mine? Or how do I get a loan to start my own business, that sort of thing. And what we want to do is get them to that material quicker. So we're using some of the same technologies that Google and other search enterprises are using to move the user that much closer to the information so that they're not spending their time searching, they're spending their time using that information and turning it into something of value.
And it should go without saying, but you know, when I started my career as a librarian, you handed volume 1 of a resource to one patron who could use it all day. Today, you have multiple patrons using the same information all day long, so you're providing a wider net of information for people too.